Hey everyone, it's Michael and
Alex and Riven.
And hey, from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, bringing you an interesting Friday. I'm not sure how we're going to go with the lights and all that on my end, but looks like you guys are under control down there.
I haven't seen. What's that behind you, Michael? It's like this. It's like the sky, but it's blue instead of like this horrible grey color.
Yes, believe it or not, I'm in sunny Tasmania.
Looks
and it's
absolutely
actually
lovely.
quite beautiful up here. Yeah. So you've got the Tamar Valley, no, the Tamar River. Sorry, the Tamar River behind me.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, staying with family up in the north of Tasmania, and they've got this beautiful little spot here. So I thought this would be a great place for a live stream. Of course, I don't know anything about lighting and all that sort of stuff, so poor old Ruben's tearing his hair out, but I'm okay.
No, it's a lot better than it was before we went live. The poor camera was struggling.
It's actually the best at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think.
Well, I don't know what this shadow is here, but that's all right.
I like this from Braden. New segment, where in the world is Michael now?
It's becoming that. You've got quite a few trips coming up, and ones you've already been on. But yeah, you've got quite a few things coming up.
Yeah, so Tasmania for a little bit here, and then back home for a little bit, and then over to the States for the what do they call it? The World Fair of Money.
Yeah.
Over there for a week, and then back again, and I think I'm back for a few days, and then over to Perth for the release of the horse, which some of the Bullion Now family are joining us for, which I'm very excited about. Can't wait for that. And then the night I get back from that, I'm up at Mount Hotham. So it's all fun and games.
Back to Hoth.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, back to Hoth.
So we're pretending you're not down there looking at the new Bullion Now store then?
No comment.
Oh, well, adding more fuel to the fire for the rumours.
Yes.
All right, kicking us off.
Could be that.
I was going to say, Amstaff, before the stream even started, saying BN needs a ticketing system at Collins Street.
We actually should have one. We purchased the tickets. I have to admit, I just assumed, quite stupidly, that I approved the buying of the tickets. Therefore, it was happening. Never kind of joining the dots that nothing actually happened. So when I get back, we will look at introducing the ticketing system. I gave up trying to come up with a better system.
Yeah, and we'll need the digital counter as well, so we can process them easier. We got the tickets. We just need the second part now.
Yeah.
We've
me drinking slightly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure everyone's curious about what you've actually got.
Actually, more people are commenting on the fact that you're clean shaven and had a haircut than anything else. So
I couldn't handle it any longer. It took way too long to get the haircut coming back from the icy depths of Mount Hotham, and yes, finally managed to find time and a barber at the same period to actually get it all ripped off. So that was a big relief. I think I lost about 5 kilos of weight when they took all the wool off. I was getting a bit wool blind. It was down around here.
We've got Andrew Grant. Hello, new subscriber here. Was in the shop today and very happy with my purchases. Hope everyone else is having a ripper day.
Oh, thank you for saying.
The other Andrew has been in the wars a bit. He's a regular on the chat here as well.
Yes.
Up in Queensland. So it's good to see him tuning in, and it's good to see him. I actually had contact with him early this morning, so it's good to see he's doing well. So have a peaceful recovery, mate. Take it a bit easy.
We've got Alvin from Gdansk in Poland again, saying, anyone seen the new Brumby? Thoughts?
Seen the picture, haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I actually quite like it this year.
Yeah, and it's really annoying. It's one of those ones that we actually can't get a hold of, just to preempt the follow-up question for the Brumby. It's a very popular one. I was watching Perth Mint for their numismatic release of the Brumby, which has also just come out, and I think it only lasted about an hour or so up on their website.
Wow, that was quick.
Greg wants a poll on my haircut. I'm not so sure I'm into that.
No, I want a poll on whether you need the beard or not.
Unfortunately, no matter how successful that poll is, my wife has overriding say on that, and she doesn't approve. I'm
Roxy's
sorry I'm
dad
looking off to the
reckon-
side, but it's the only place I can get the live chat. So
Oh, good. Roxy's dad reckon the new Brumby looks a bit cartoonish. It's always the battle they have.
yeah,
I know. I'm glad. 'cause
that shadow was
so I
that
was just
shadow
gonna
was
s-
actually a shadow, not a mic. Sorry, Alex,
It's
you go
like
for it, mate.
trying to
I'll
talk
sit
to your
back in
parents
the
on
line.
Skype.
I'm
That's
kinda
what I
glad.
will always relate it to.
There's too many good releases, so I'm always happy when there's one I'm not collecting that we don't get, so it doesn't tempt me anyway. But I'm so looking forward to the Luna release of the horse. That's, been after that for a long time now. So, very much looking forward to September 1. On that note, we had someone ask as well if we like what the plans are for the wider BN family. I know we're catching up on the Sunday night, but are we going to be doing anything after the Perth Mint tour? And I wasn't sure, so maybe Michael, if you want to say anything to that.
There's nothing planned at this point about after the tour, but if there's demand there, I'm absolutely happy to organise something. I was talking to Matt this morning, so Matt from Thompson Coins. So there's a faint possibility that Matt might be joining us over there. And I was hoping to get in touch with the likes of Lucas, who's one of the designers over there, and maybe a couple of the other Perth Mint folk. I was actually more thinking a Sunday night thing, but if people would prefer a Monday afternoon thing, I'm not against that either.
The problem is, I think we'll have a few people that will have booked accommodation specifically kind of around that. Although it's kind of too early in the morning that I think people will be rocking up that morning. So I think a lot of people will be there the Sunday night. But I know at least one of the flights coming through was coming through at like 8 or something, about when we'd be looking at kicking off. So.
Now, there's a question here, Smitty
Look,
911.
the foreigners that are coming in like us. You go, mate.
Killing me.
Did
This is
LCS
why-
get any allocation of the Ninja Turtles pizza coin released by the Perth Mint? Do you want to speak to that, Michael?
No, I don't. I'm still cranky about it. Look, we got massively cut back. I don't know if they didn't anticipate the demand on that one, or it was always intended to be a small release. But even when we got the initial information on it, I instantly knew this was going to be a problem. We put in for as much of an allocation as we thought. In fact, we put in for way above what we thought we'd get away with, knowing we would be cut back. We got massively cut back. We got about 10% of what we actually needed, just to cover regular purchases of what we'd normally expect, never mind the extra demand that we knew would come. So, very frustrated with that one. I love the coin, love the design. They've done a brilliant job. I just think they missed the mark on the supplies on that one. So, unfortunately.
The other one from that batch that sold out really fast was the honeybee, and Aussie Drop Bear's asking if there's any more of those.
Might have good news on the honeybee. We may be able to source more of those. I'm not saying we can, but we've got the feelers out, and it's sounding positive.
Greg there. I've just finished rearranging the Vietnam to Australia flight to attend the Perth Mint tour. Have not told my wife yet.
Oh dear. It's good to hear.
An Aussie girl wanting to know who from Bullion Now is going to be coming along.
I think you're coming, aren't you, Alex?
Yep. First
Ruben's
time
gonna be there,
not
Rube?
just at the Perth Mint, but first time in Perth at all, or WA.
It's a beautiful place, mate. Puts Melbourne to shame some days. So at this stage it's Rubes and Alex, and there's a few of the team from kind of the back room coming across as well. They've expressed a desire to come across there, so we may even get a chance to meet some of them while you're over there as well, if they're willing to. They're actually coming under their own steam. They've offered to pay for themselves to come across and do the tour. So I'm not going to put any pressure on them from a company perspective because I'm not sending them ourselves at our expense. But if they're willing to put their hand up, then absolutely we'll introduce you to them, and you can see who makes up your packages and things like that.
I think I'd love it if they were just kind of infiltrated into the group. They didn't make any mention of it, and then by the end you've got to try and guess who those people actually are. Who's the secret Bullion Now employee?
Great.
So we've also had some questions about. We have the title of the stream, the Trump tariffs. Alex brought that one up, and it's. I'm never sure with things like this if it's going to be one of those something nothing things that, as you've said in the past with some of his tariffs, is just kind of posturing, just kind of, trying to get what he wants done. And so this is just a negotiating tactic that will be here and then gone super fast, and we're really not going to see any noticeable impact. Or if this is something that is going to majorly impact the likes of PAMP and whatnot in, exporting all around the world and particularly to the US.
I don't know, Alex, do you want to take this one?
No, it's just I only saw this coming into work this morning, which is when then I shared it with you guys. Haven't had really time to look at it because I was in the shop, but in regards to that, maybe just a bargaining tactic, you just don't know with Trump anymore because he's saying one thing and then he'll backflip and then he'll bring it back. So I think it's going to cause more uncertainty in any case. And then I'm just wondering what that will be doing to gold prices in general. And with people worried about not just, again, it's like what we discussed previously with the superannuation and the unrealized capital gains tax. That's how it starts, and then it might trickle down later. So this is one way perhaps that they say, hey, look, it's only on the 1 kilos and 100 ounce gold bars, I believe. So other people go, oh, it doesn't affect me. And then, it's sort of introduced the thing slowly, which I'm always weary about. Yeah.
I want to know what a 100 ounce bar is.
Yeah, I haven't seen a 100 ounce gold bar.
They kind of jump from kilos to 400 ounce.
Yeah, there's the occasional place that will make you a 100 ounce bar, but no one that I'm aware of in gold, and I'm happy to stand corrected on this one, but I did all of 10 minutes Google research as well, seeing if I was mistaken, and I couldn't find anything. I actually don't trust this article. I know it's been picked up by a lot of people or a lot of different news organisations, but they're all quoting the Financial Times, who is saying that they have seen a document from the I can't think of the name of it. Was it the CPS? I think they call the department in the States. It's like there is no hard evidence out there at this stage. And if you go to the relevant department's website, it really only talks about importing gold and it's tariff free. We want to know you're doing it if you're bringing in more than 100 kilos type of thing. More than $10,000 worth. But CBP, Customs and Border Protection. But they're all kind of like no one's that at this stage. There is no. Here is the document that specifies this is what we're actually going to do. It's all rumours and innuendos, and I don't think this is a Trumpism. I think this is someone interpreting something and then passing it on to something, and it's got back to the media, and they've run with it. And I could be wrong on this one, because why would you target kilo bars? Like of all the range, why target kilo bars? It's the only people that are bringing in kilo bars as a rule are governments. So the US government would be tariffing itself in this case, or basically manufacturers or large stackers of gold. I don't see the political drive behind it.
From what I've read, while coming in and having a little bit of time to look at it, it was suggesting that it's more to do with affecting Switzerland rather than others. So I'm not sure what's going on behind the scenes there. I'll be jumping more into that and looking into that tonight when I get some more time.
You might
But
have
yeah,
some,
the talk was about impact on Switzerland.
you might have some time now because I think Michael has frozen and left us for now. So yes.
Yeah, and Drogue was saying that as well. There you go, precious Switzerland. But yeah, that's something to look into more, and especially like what Michael said as well. It's from the Financial Times, so I'm going to see if there's any other sources discussing that, like
He's
first-hand
back.
sources.
Oh, did I disappear? Did I?
You well and truly did
Okay. Did my voice disappear or just the picture?
everything.
Everything. Okay. So you probably missed what I was actually saying.
Yeah, just the last bit of it there.
Yeah, I like the Siva buying
Yeah.
suggestion. Need to turn Michael off and on again.
Look, as I said, if they were targeting the smaller bars, this would be a completely different conversation. To pick kilo bars and then, like I said, this oddity of the 100-ounce bars, something doesn't smell right. I think this is a media beat up, but I could be completely wrong in this one. We'll wait to see if we get more information. Having said that, I know that it has been difficult for us to source gold out of some sections of Europe, including Switzerland, because they have been very, very jumpy about the tariffs. They are loading, or they have preloaded into the US a massive quantity of gold to the detriment of other areas of the world like us. So that side of me says there could be some legitimacy to this comment or this rumor, but at this stage, I would say it's a 90-10. It's 90% chance this is a media beat up and 10% chance it's going to go through. But I could be wrong. Stand by for further information on it.
Definitely one to watch. Speaking of the Financial Times, there was another article that MP in chat sent through to me this week, and it was a very interesting read. It's talking about the UK and basically the fact that so many more people are using bullion coins to mitigate tax and admitting that freely. One of the major UK gold companies did a survey of some of its customers, and tax was listed as the top motivator for buying gold coins, with 42% saying it was for tax reasons. The second top motivator, given by only 26%, was wealth protection. So it's very interesting to live in a world. This is the UK we're talking about here, but I'd argue potentially similar concepts existing here as well, where tax reasons is overtaking wealth protection for precious metals.
Can you send me that article?
Sure can.
The UK has some very, very interesting tax rules when it comes to gold bullion. So if you're buying, I'll get this completely wrong, so anyone in the UK that wants to correct me on this, you guys will know far more about it because it's got more twists and turns than a drive around Mount Panorama. It's pretty insane. Where if you've got a gold coin that's of the realm, so I think it's anything produced by the Royal Mint, then they don't incur capital gains tax unless they're over something crazy like 225 years, and at that point they become subject to capital gains tax. And there's all sorts of twists and turns, but effectively, from my basic understanding, if you're buying a government issue gold coin, there is no tax on it. We don't have that kind of thing in Australia. I mean, we don't pay GST on bullion coins, but we're still subject to capital gains tax and all that sort of stuff. So it could be people trying to move away from that capital gains tax. I don't know what it's got to do with inheritance tax and things like that. Undoubtedly, it's probably embedded in that as well. So you may find that that's what's driving it more than what we see in Australia, which is more just the normal 10% GST tax.
Does it get to a stage, do you think, where so many people are doing it that they need to bring something in to counter that? Do you think there would ever be a rule change on that, the Royal Mint produced coins not being subject to capital gains tax?
It would take a fairly major change. Certainly nothing's impossible. And let's face it, the UK's economy, the economy as well, but the UK taxation situation and government debt situation is even worse than Australia, if you can believe it. So it wouldn't shock me, but it'd be a fairly major change if they did.
Yeah,
we need some of the UK guys to pitch in here.
I need to rewatch your interview with Backyard Bullion because I think that's where he covered a bit of it as well.
That was, some of it was covered in there.
Yeah.
We had a message through from Instagram. It says, "Hi team, I'd like to know if there's been some sort of issues this week with orders, because yes, BN is and always will be my bullion dealer. I think this week the time for orders being paid, processed to dispatch has gotten below par. I had the email of payment received on Monday. It's a small order. I know it's in stock, yet Sylvia emailed when I asked, will I get it? Sorry, I'm just reading this word for word here. Said will be sent out next week on Monday. Anyway, just think it's odd. I'm even considering coming into store tomorrow morning to see if I can pick it up since it hasn't been dispatched yet."
Without knowing the particulars of that, of the invoice you're referring to, if we've cleared payment after the pick, then it may not have been picked until the following day. I don't know why it would have missed Wednesday's shipping day. We tend not to ship out on a Friday, so that certainly won't have gone today. I'd like to know a bit more about it, and I'd be very happy if you emailed us in and just let us know the invoice number, and I can actually chase it up and find out if we've got a bit of a gremlin in our system that's slowing things down. But at this stage, as far as I'm aware, everything's pretty much up to date. So I'm a little surprised about this one.
Well, that's it. We're kind of there now if it's going to be getting shipped out on Monday. So
the other thing is if they are coming in tomorrow, maybe I'll put down my email just to see if we've got it in store, because there's no point coming down if we haven't got the stock, because again, I don't know what it's referring to. So I'll just drop the email in chat, and you can just send it to Alex at Bullion Now, and after the stream I'll have a look to see if it's here and chase that up for you.
I'm going to ask politely if we can keep the chat fairly chill as well. Yeah. I know there's some differing opinions on some of the politics and stuff, but
actually, because that came through an email.
This was Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. All right. So I don't know if they're on chat. I'll just respond to them on Insta after the stream.
There was
what else have we got, Rubes?
I don't actually have a lot for this week, if I'm completely honest. I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about. We had the Palladium video go up just before stream started, so that's a bit of an odd and interesting one out of us for this week. We kind of looked at those a little bit on in person and stream the other week, but yeah, they're actually now available for sale.
They've been very popular.
They're
as well.
Great. Yeah, great product, those ones, little 1 grammers. So it's a great way to dip your toe in the water of an alternative metal. They're not particularly cheap on a per kilo basis or anything on those sort of lines, but they're certainly they're not going to break the bank either. So a great way just to put your toe in the water with one of those other metals that you hear us talk about from time to time, but you're not sure about.
Now, we did sell out of the original batch that we got through, so the ones that we've got up there now are actually on pre-order. And Stephen, Alex was accusing you of being the one to buy all of them.
I was just about to respond. No, it wasn't me. I'm still to pick up my first one because I was going to pick it up after stream last week, and then I got called in a shop because it was just flat out. And they've gone a lot better than even I expected.
Yeah. No, been very popular.
And people were buying, I noticed what surprised me as well was people were buying more than one. So, and I talked to a couple of customers and they're buying one for themselves and one to give away as a present or to give someone. So I thought that was interesting as well.
Like I said in the video, I think it's a good I'm hesitant to use the word novelty, but I'll use the word novelty. For people that have just been stacking gold, silver, and maybe platinum, Palladium isn't in a lot of people's stacks. And so even if it's not something that you're looking at investing in majorly or just going all in on, it's still something interesting to have as a bit of a talking point in your stack, I think. And
that's exactly what Lita just said now. Yeah, well, it's fun to have Palladium talking point in a stack. And also, it's not just Palladium, it's a pan Palladium Fortuna Palladium that makes, it's just so beautiful to look at.
Yeah, if you're going to do it properly. Look, I was waiting for you to talk
comments
there,
on there, Rubes. Kelly's retracted his comment. Kelly's retracted his comment, but yeah, he was saying that he'd received his stuff fairly quickly. So it was. I know we sometimes say bullion later, not bullion now, but we seem to have conquered a lot of that curse, and we're back onto bullion now, which is good. And Andrew Grant wanted to know if we're going to have coins on display. He was in there today in the shop and noticed there's nothing on display. There hasn't been anything on display for a number of weeks now because of the renovations. But the renos, they're almost complete. They're currently paused, but they're almost complete. And we're getting some displays in there. So within a couple of weeks, we should start seeing displays out there of all sorts of coins and bars again. Which I got to admit, I'll be breathing a big sigh of relief when we finally do that. It'll give some more normality back to the shop.
For those that haven't been in for this week, it's been really good. We've now got carpet in there.
And the bench top.
And a proper bench top. So, yeah, it's feeling a little less like an industrial site, but still some of those finishing touches still to go.
Yeah, I've got two comments here I want to touch on. One is Nathy Boy. Got a BN pen with my order last week. Don't know where you source the pens, but they work great. Yes, they do. I've been using these pens for like 5 years now since I've been a customer at BN. And yeah, they still work fantastic. So I agree. The other one is in regards to Palladium. So Jensen asked, would you ever get bigger Palladium products? Look, Palladium is not a metal that we hedge. So we do keep some larger sizes in. They're usually Valcambi 1 ounce Palladium minted bars. But considering how the Palladiums have been flying out, maybe if I keep bugging everyone, Adzi and Michael in particular, maybe we'll get some larger sizes.
Yeah, if you're ever going to get them, I think right after they've just sold out very quickly is a good time to get them.
Yeah, push.
The problem with the larger bars is the GST.
But it is. But having said that, actually, it's been since I've been on the stream, since the end of last year, we've been selling more Palladium in the 1 ounce. And we generally only keep a couple on, but all the time, a couple on hand at least, like 2 to 3. And they've been steadily being sold and replaced, sold and replaced, sold and replaced. So the 1 ounces are going, obviously not as quick as the 1 grams because of the cheaper price, the entry price point. But yeah, just something to have a look out for. Maybe I'll talk to Adzi if there's any other interesting pieces that aren't at the 1 ounce size.
BDK is wondering if you've checked out the Hobart Mint while you've been down there, Michael.
No, I'm actually in the north of the state this trip, and I'm only down for a couple of days, so don't have time to zip down to Hobart, but I'm hoping probably after I come back from the
Sounds like when you come back from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yes. Before I go to Perth, I'm hoping.
Apparently,
am I going there as well?
No, your connection's all over the place, so you kind of froze at a time where we have to guess.
Half your connection is in Tasmania, the other half is in New Zealand. I think that's what.
Sorry, is that better, or do I need to change internet connections?
No, you're right for now, but you are very blurry. This is definitely suboptimal. This is why I get so excited when we're actually all in the studio. But yeah, sadly, it's something we're going to have to get used to with all your gallivanting around.
For the next month, yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's Dan the Collecting Man asking, what are your thoughts on the 0.5 gram proof kookaburra?
I like it.
I'm just trying to see, is it actually Perth Mint that have done it? Because it's got
I'm distracted for a second.
It's done with Fiji, like Fijian dollars, which I haven't seen Perth go for. Normally they just put it like the kookaburra would fit under as Australian currency.
Yeah, I don't think it is a Perth Mint production. Sorry, I'm trying to get a better internet connection here.
It's all right.
Just
I think
responding to someone in chat as well. Sorry.
It's just one of those streams, I think. You still with us, Michael?
Yeah, I'm still with you. Momentarily.
Oh, dear. All right. Susan's question. Some US dealers are refusing to buy back larger bars. What's the possibility that Bullion Now would ever refuse to buy back anything as prices go higher?
I don't think it's very likely. We get asked this question occasionally. I can't think of a reason why we wouldn't accept larger bars. We have a very good relationship with several refineries. If we don't like the size of the bar, we have it changed. We have it melted down and turned into kilos or ounces or 10 ounces or whatever we're chasing at the time. What you may see us do, and we do this anyway, like if you're bringing in 1,000 ounce bar, which is a 32, 33 kilo bar, you may find that you don't get full spot for it. You get below spot on those larger bars, which we've been very open about. We say that on gold, anything above 100 grams, in silver, anything above 100 ounces, it's by negotiation at the time. So you probably won't get spot price for it. If we've specifically got someone chasing that size bar, then we're absolutely happy to give you spot and pass it straight through. But if we're going to have to sit on it or get it remelted or anything along those sort of lines, at the end of the day, we're a business. We need to make money. We're going to take some of that cost and reduce it off the amount we're going to be able to give you. So I can't see us ever getting to a point where we'd say no. But, you may find instead of getting spot or 99%, you get 98 or 97%, that type of thing where we go, okay, well, we can't resell this. We've got to have it recast, and it's going to cost us X amount. So that's about the only thing I could see happening from that perspective.
Maybe that's why in the earlier article they're talking about 100 ounce bars and no longer 400 ounce gold bars, Michael. Maybe they're not taking in the larger gold. I
can't see them. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it's
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know where they're...
You know what I just pictured before, like thinking about it made me laugh, like the combi bars, but like a snap pack of 4. So instead of one 400 ounce bar, like 4 100 ounces together. That would be cool.
Who on earth is buying 400 ounce bars to break them into 100 ounce bars? That's a serious chunk of change.
Yeah. Speaking of, I'm trying to think through what is on our list of things that we're wanting out of the Perth trip, Michael. Do you think we're going to be able to get our hands on a 400 ounce bar while we're over there?
I don't know. I haven't actually asked if we can. I know it. I don't know which tour they're going to take us on this year. If they take us on the one we did last year, that part of the initial tour actually takes you into a very interesting room that's got all sorts of goodies in it, and there is every chance we might get a chance to put our sticky fingers onto something.
That would be very, very cool. Love seeing those.
I'm hoping we still get a tour of the place where they make the rooms where they make the 10 kilo silver coins, because I've been fascinated with you guys talking about it ever since you mentioned it first, and really looking forward to that. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I think it was Desi there.
MP got to hold the 400 ounce bar.
Desi there hoping that we're going to be able to get some more of the Yggdrasil coins.
I suspect not.
Yeah.
So what was the mintage? It was 400 each
on the coloured ones, and then 4,000 on the bullion.
We do offer a lot. Well, you could always colour in your plain bullion coins. As some people have sold back some coloured in bars that you would have seen on the stream a week or so ago. Yeah,
no, look, you got to give credit to Germania Mint. They really produced one out of the bag there. The only thing, and it's a similar thing, I had a go at Perth Mint over at the start of this stream. The only problem is they underestimated the demand for it. So, everyone was cut right back, and unfortunately we got a very limited number in. Look, I'll reach out again. If there's still demand for the colours, I'll reach out to them and see if we can possibly source some from a cancelled order or something along those sort of lines. But I think it's pretty unlikely.
It's always that battle. If they did it with a higher mintage number, I don't know if they would have been as popular. I'm not saying I don't
it's
like the design, but there's times when people go way too far the other way and they just make way too many of something, and then either we're stuck with it or just the community goes, no one really cares about that. You can get them dime a dozen.
Yeah. Look, it's a hard call, that one, because you've obviously got to commit a lot of resources to producing a series, and then you don't produce enough, you get abused for it. You produce too many, it makes it worthless, and you get stuck with a whole stack of product. Sometimes you can melt it back down. Other times, if it's legal tender, it becomes a heck of a lot harder. You can't just throw it in the melting pot. You've got to go back through the correct channels to actually reduce the mintage and things like that. So it really is a hard one, that one. So, they underestimated this time, but I know that they've overestimated with other productions. So we all look into the crystal ball, and even us as Bullion Now, a little coin shop, quite often we're sitting there going, well, what do we do here? Is it going to be huge demand and we should be ordering, 10,000 of these? Or is it going to be, really small demand, and if we order 10,000 of them, we're going to be stuck with 9,900? I mean, the Tetris is the classic example where we got stuck with, I anticipated the demand on the Tetris would be higher than it was, and we got stuck with a decent chunk of them. And it doesn't make it a bad bar or anything along those sort of things. It just means that I overestimated the initial demand on them. I still think they're a lot of fun, and when I give them to kids to play with, they think they're a lot of fun, and they're a great way to introduce people, particularly, across all ranges. Everyone loves Tetris. It's a great way to introduce people from something they know, i.e. Tetris, we've all played it, to something that they don't know but need to be educated into bullion. So I still love them. I still think they're a great piece of gear, but obviously the demand wasn't there that we thought there was.
And we did get a lot of the plain the bullion ones, but the coloured versions they look really cool still. It's still one of my favourite from that year, which was about a year and a bit ago. The coloured ones look pretty cool. But then again, I'm a Tetris fan, so
everyone is. I don't know anyone who doesn't love Tetris.
I think there's always going to be that product though. And it doesn't matter what we get through or the numbers. We got stuck with some of the James Bonds for a while and some of the Shrek Christmas coins. But as you've said before, they still fill their purpose of backing things like the unallocated. And, having a staple product that we can have up there might be a bit of cope, but yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, just because something doesn't... The problem is, and this is more a company thing, and even to a degree the Bullion Now family, they kind of think if we don't sell out in the first 15 minutes that the whole series is a failure. Most coins and bars don't sell out quickly. Most of them are there for a period of time. So the fact that some of these things, you mentioned the Shrek, they're perennial coins. Every Christmas we have people chasing them and buying them.
I think they're gone now.
No, we actually found a couple of tubes of them, Ants and I, a little while ago.
The gift that keeps on
So
giving.
I think we have 4 tubes of them left, so about 100 coins. And they'll probably go this Christmas, I'd suggest, because they're a good, fun coin. You're not always after that.
We do know. Thank you, Frozen Michael. He's gone. I'm going to move.
The neighbour.
Oh, no.
Sorry?
This is shocking, Michael. This is killing me.
But yeah, we got to get Michael to learn sign language, so you'll have to sign and speak in future when you're not in studio.
That's it. Or just like a little backpack that just has like a far better internet connection that he can take wherever he goes. There's a question from Karen there that I'm a bit worried about. It says, question, can I have some help? I have a Germania Mint blue torch, but only shows silver and tiny specks on purple, not all the lovely colours previous in videos showed. Not sure what I'm doing wrong. Sorry for my ignorance. I'm really worried that they've picked up the wrong product there.
No, the other question is, what product are you using it on?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah.
the wrong coin, because there's the World Money Fair edition and then the non-World Money Fair edition.
Yeah.
And the non-World Money Fair edition does just show up. You get kind of the glow from the torch, but that's it.
Yeah, that's right. So if you've got the UV one, it'll be the 1 ounce will be quite dark. when you look at it without the torch. It just looks like a very dark metal, and it'll light up when you use the UV over it. But the other ones just look like normal silver, which you won't get the same effect on. So
the biggest tell is just if it came in a packaging or just as a bullion coin in a capsule. So the ones in the packaging are the ones that they go. The 10 ounce, yeah, they didn't do the coloured look in the 10 ounce.
No. And how much did you pay for your 1 ounce? Was it around $65 or was it $230? Because if it was the cheaper one, it's not the UV coin.
Yeah, so yeah, they say the 10 ounce there. So yeah, I don't actually think that's a product that isn't actually going to glow, I'm afraid.
But it does also work on the runes, both series of runes. It works on
not just both. There's 3 now. Had you seen that? So they've gone for red, green, and blue now.
Wow.
So
Okay.
They look good.
I'm gonna have to do some OT, Michael.
I really would like to get all 3 of them in for one shot, just for my video stuff, just to have at least one of each, because I think that would look really cool. Dean, after some clarifications on the time scheduling for our upcoming tour of the Perth Mint, said regarding Perth, 7 a.m. start, so 2 hours behind the scenes until 9 a.m. Then the shop for coin buying and certificate maybe for about an hour or so wrapping up at about 10ish. Is that anticipated?
Yeah. I've been telling people around about 11, so that gives you a little bit of fat in there because, things always run over. But I'm somewhere between 10 or 11 o'clock. It also depends on how much time you want to spend wandering around the public side of the Perth Mint as well. But yeah, sometime between 10 and 11.
People are saying we should do a special while Michael's not here, Alex.
Well, we were planning to do that.
Yeah, let's do one. I teed something up with Adam before.
Did you? Yeah. Oh, well done. You got out of the shop earlier, so yeah.
Snuck
well
away. So we're going to be doing the turtle
very
coins.
Convenient. It's dropping out right about now.
I really should have been doing it while Michael was dropped out. We're going to be doing the 2 ounce turtles, the Hawkesbury turtles, at buyback prices. So that's $5 an ounce over spot. So they're 2 ounce, so spot plus 10 on those ones.
That's actually a beautiful design. Have you got a photo?
I can get one in a second. I can't do a spot special on these ones. These are new coins, these ones. But yeah, a very, very cool design. And kind of one that for me is synonymous with being just the New Zealand coin, even though it's not actually, it's Niue. As in like the face, the legal tender value on it.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Indeed. So yeah, those are up on our website now.
Just trying to see an earlier comment asking. Sorry, I can't remember who asked this, but what do you think about tokenization of gold, Michael, and the potentials of that? I don't know if Michael's frozen or is seeing.
If you're talking to me, Alex,
saw a
you just broke
Tassie
up,
tiger in the background.
Have you got me now?
Yep.
Ish.
Yep. Okay. You're going to have to repeat your question, mate. You broke up and I didn't get it. All I heard was tokenization.
Yeah, there was a question earlier in the chat in regards to what the thoughts are maybe on the tokenization of gold. Or have you given it any thought or anything?
They're
like
trying. They're trying to tokenize it. It's very difficult to tokenize something that you can change the form of. And so now what, so you tokenize it against an ounce bar with a serial number, and then I take that ounce bar and I melt it down and turn it into 2 half ounces. Now what is that token representing? So there is a real problem with basic tokenization that they haven't got around yet. They will get there eventually. The technology will get there as to how they can attach these things. But at this stage, you've got to have faith that the token that you've got is actually attached to the bar that you've got, and they can't do it. So I don't think it's an issue in the shorter term. Come back to me in 5 years when technologies have changed quite a lot. But at this stage, I'd say it's a bit of a non-issue.
Sorry.
You can't just disappear to talk to chat.
There's too much going on.
You're on a podcast here, Alex.
Hello.
Hi.
No, I haven't. In terms of myself, I haven't really looked and gone down that path, so I don't really have much to say on it because I really don't know, and I don't want to speak on something I don't know about. I'm just old school. I like it physical. I like it in hand. Like Uncle Scrooge, I like to bring it out, to look at it, juggle it. So I'm not too much into the tokenization aspect of it. And for me, that just, I think there's potential in it and what you can do with it. So back something, but at the end of the day, that just leads me down a path that I don't have a lot of faith in. And what I'm talking about is like what governments might be doing with it, using it, finding out. Yeah, there's a wider aspect I don't want to get into right now, but I haven't gone down that path, and I'm just myself sticking with the actual physical and enjoying doing that.
Susan McGee wants a Tetris special. I reckon we could probably organise that when I get back.
Yeah, I like their idea there of a bit of a special for getting all the shapes in one order.
Yeah, so we might see if we can tee that one up.
And Stephen's asking, when do we get to see Ruben?
You got to just come into the shop. I'm behind the counter a lot of the time at the moment.
Or in Perth.
Yeah,
at the end of this month.
Absolutely.
We've got the Fox with a question there. It says, how come so many US bullion dealers I see on YouTube don't hedge? Isn't that really dangerous from a business perspective?
I would question whether they're bullion dealers or coin dealers, because there is a difference. Coin dealers don't have to worry about the movement of spot price so much. Bullion dealers live and breathe spot price. So my suspicion is they're more coin dealers than bullion dealers. A bit hard to tell on YouTube. But some bullion dealers don't hedge. It is quite dangerous. You usually find they're the smaller bullion dealers, the ones that aren't so price conscious. They can buy a bar and they're quite happy to ride it on the way up, and they're quite happy to slow down sales when spot price comes down a bit and just suck it up. But invariably, these guys get burnt, and I've seen it too many times in the industry, time after time. These smaller guys get burnt, and they then seem to move or gravitate more towards the collector coins, or they start moving out of the business, or alternatively, they actually start hedging. So it is certainly a very dangerous game. It's a quick way to go broke if you're not very careful.
There's a couple of questions from Rox's dad stacking. One of them is for you, Michael, in regards to the new Wonka bars and how different they are to the old ones, and any new information on that.
Look, they're not releasing anything till October, so you're going to have to stand by till October before we can really talk about them.
Okay. And the other question that you had, I'll address that. It's in regard, it says, Midnight Gardener, can you please confirm the next metals meetup, please? So it was meant to be at the end of this month, but quite a few of the organisers couldn't make it. And based on the venue as well, we had to basically liaise with them. So it's looking like it's going to be, and I haven't been able to get in contact with the manager of the venue because he's overseas at the moment, but it looks like it's going to be the second last Sunday of September. So it's the weekend, the Sunday before grand final weekend, which is I think Michael's favourite holiday still, isn't it, Rubes?
I think so.
Yeah. But I'll confirm that at a later date.
Wanted to get your thoughts, Michael, on something that is kind of a bit of a something nothing story, but it's also, I'm interested to know what your thoughts on it are. We've started to see the first evacuations out of Tuvalu, which is a very small country comprised of a few different islands, and I think at its highest, or at least average, it's only about 2 meters above sea level, and so with ever slowly rising seawaters and whatever, they're anticipating it will be completely below water, and so they've actually in the next 20 or so years, and so they've started taking off some of the residents and bringing them to Australia. To link that back to coinage, what does that do to the Tuvalu licensing on coins? Do you suspect that will become a thing of the past in the next 20 to 25 years?
No, I think they will keep the licensing because unless they dissolve the country, which is possible, but someone will keep it going. I'll guarantee it.
So the answer, Ruben, is
have more
no.
marketing appeal and more collector appeal as time goes on.
Oh, yeah, we lost half your answer there, but I think you were saying that it will actually increase the desire for them.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting one. It's not very often we deal with the potential, even slightly potential of a country disappearing like that, and it is one that we actually fairly frequently get coinage from, or at least legal tender value from. They sell the rights to that.
I just need to clarify something. So we're getting a few questions in the chat about this weekend and if we're open or not. Last weekend was a one-off. We are open this weekend. It was a glitch in the matrix that we closed last weekend. So absolutely, if you're planning on coming in this Saturday, we will definitely be open between 9 and 1.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if we are closed on the very rare times we do put up a banner and a note on the website, so you can always just before you drive in, especially if you're driving in from further out, just check the website, as well as the socials and the Google opening times, isn't it, Rubes? That gets updated as well.
Yeah, at least a few days in advance, so you've got a bit of a heads up, ideally. Richard telling us to get our butts up to Brisbane or the Gold Coast. We've got some competitors opening up more stores up there, and we need to get competing, apparently.
Stand by.
Nathy boy, I saw something earlier today about edible microchips in cheese, so it can be tracked and not counterfeited. Assuming they have technology to survive the heat, could they chip metal? Of course, making reference to that old April Fool's thing last year.
If they can't yet, they will eventually.
Is that Michael?
It's obviously Michael.
I read this last. Was it in the comments of a video? It's not a BN video unless you hear Michael's phone go off in the background.
Sorry.
People are also wanting an update on Pakenham, Michael.
Me too.
You got to give people more than that.
Look, Pakenham's pretty much ready to go. Pakenham's open technically, so you can. We've done I'm going to call it a soft launch. We've done a soft launch on Pakenham. It's open by appointment, so you can come in and do pretty much everything you can do in Melbourne. You can do out at Pakenham, so you can sell back to us. You can buy stuff out there. You can pick up your orders, all that sort of stuff. You've just got to make an appointment. We are having trouble's too strong a word, but juggling staff resources at the moment is a little difficult. Because I'm away so much, and several of us are away. I've got a couple of guys away coming to the States with me. Obviously, we've already talked about the fact that Ruben and Alex are coming across to Perth with me. And any time we take even one person out of the business, it puts a lot of pressure on everyone else. So we're kind of waiting for this perfect moment when we're all back again and we can actually just pick up and move the team out to Pakenham. So Oscar's going to head up that team when it goes out there, and just freeing Oscar up. I noticed he's taken some annual leave just lately. I think he's taking it in anticipation of not being allowed to leave Pakenham for quite a long time afterwards. But yeah, it's if you'd like to transact in Pakenham, just give us a call, 1300 84 84 10. Talk to the lovely Sean or Sylvia, and they'll be able to slot you in, and we will serve you there.
Rob and Kat were wondering when those Shrek coins were going to reappear on the website, since we've found some more of them.
Sorry, which one's the Shreks?
Yes.
We could put them up immediately. I can send a message to Ads to list some if they're not already up there.
We got Malta Convoy asking if Palladium is finished. I think they're struggling to see it in many dealers in Asia.
If anything, I'd say it's getting stronger.
With many dealers in Australia either. I think we're one of the few that carry it. And I'm not even sure how many dealers in Australia buy back. We buy back, as we've said previously, at 90% of spot. But as I've been looking around for Palladium for a while, just to see if there's anything different, and especially in coins, I haven't really been able to find many in Australia to sell it. So I'm not sure what the situation in Asia is like.
Look, Palladium's very niche. You think platinum's niche, Palladium is even more niche. So you'll find a lot of dealers, particularly smaller ones, won't touch it. We're one of the few in Australia that do. In Asia, Palladium's not particularly a thing as far as stacking goes. They're very much more focused on gold and silver, particularly gold throughout Asia. And, it's a massive generalization, absolutely. But, it's not untrue either. So you'll find Palladium's harder to find anywhere around the world because it is quite nichey in a stacking sense. Obviously, in an industrial sense, it's not, but certainly in that stacking sense, it is. So it doesn't shock me that you're finding it difficult to get hold of where you are.
Raymond, picked my order from Pakenham up a couple of weeks ago. The place was freezing. Need to crank the heater up.
We do that on purpose.
Kind of becoming too cozy. That's the reason you don't want coffee machines there, Michael.
We just shuffling people through. No, that's not the reason. I have no idea why we didn't have the heating on.
Richard, anyone who ordered any of those Perth Mint 2-ounce coloured silver honeybees through Little Coin Shop won't be disappointed. I got mine from the Perth Mint today. Stunning coin.
What are you doing ordering it from Perth? We're local.
We did sell out.
We did. Yeah. No, they're a beautiful coin. They really are.
I like the leader's comment there. What's funny is that Michael doesn't hear the phone noise. You just tune it out.
Yeah, it drives my family nuts. I go, your phone's ringing, Dad. What? Oh, sorry.
You know what? In Michael's defense, it goes off so often, I can see why he sometimes tunes out. It just becomes background noise after a while.
The other thing I need on my list from our trip to Perth Mint, Michael, is we need to harass them about their mintage production number list that they haven't updated for quite a few years now.
Yeah. Look, we can talk to them. I don't think we've got any pull on that one, but we can give it a crack.
What do you think the case is? Is it that they had someone previously on that they no longer have there, or they just been busy with other things, or because it does influence, I think, people's, like, people have used that in the past to look and go, hey, this has been a popular size, this hasn't been, wow, look, they produced way more of this one, things like that. And so people, it's not important, but it also is. it does impact people's buying habits to an extent.
Absolutely. Any company, even when they're a government organisation, they've only got so many resources, and you've got to skew it one way or another. So I'd say it's just a lack of resourcing in that area. But let's have a yarn to Perth when we're over there, and we'll see if they'll give us a better answer than I can give. I'm actually hoping we can convince one of the guys over there to do an interview. So we'll see what happens.
There's a good question here from Stephen Byer. If you got a large Palladium buyback, you found... Sorry, now it's all updating. It's jumping around. If you got a large Palladium buyback you found hard to sell in the shop, is it hard to sell to refiners? Now, we haven't had a large Palladium buyback ever, as far as I'm aware, so...
The short answer is, like a lot of these things, they're not usually difficult to sell. It's what you'll get for it at the refinery, what the current market value is. So the refineries are a little bit, or a lot like us, I suppose. If there's demand there, they will absolutely give us a good price for it. If the demand's not there, they won't, and you'll take a hammering on the price. Some refineries in Australia don't take it in bullion form. Most Palladium is being supplied to jewelers or into industry, and they get it in a slightly different form than what we get it in a physical form. So it does take some converting over if they want to sell it into the industrial market. So it's not as simple as, say, gold, where you can sell that to a refinery. It's a piece of cake. it's not so much that refineries won't take palladium. It's they may not deal with it at all, or they might go, look, we've got plenty. There's not huge demand at the moment. Look, we'll take it, but we'll only offer you 80% a spot, or those types of things. So, it's very nichey, but getting less so. If I'm completely honest, the interest and demand in palladium is certainly growing. So, hence why we're seeing refineries like PAMP produce the 1 grammers and stuff like that. So they know the demand is starting to build. So we're going to see more and more refineries, wholesalers, manufacturers actually interested in taking it and producing other things. So, I'd say we're in that crossover period. A few years' time, it'll be palladium. I suspect palladium will be a lot more common.
Yeah, and that was to do with, I think, with the price point at the moment as well, because when I first looked into it, wanted to get some, it was at double the price of what it is now. So I think people are taking advantage, especially those like a lot of us that got into stacking from 2020 onwards. The price was around 4,200 AUD for a physical ounce of palladium. So now with the price dropping, I think people that have been in it for, let's say, 5 years or 3, 4, 5 years already, seeing the drop and trying to get in on diversifying a little bit, taking the advantage of the price point.
Absolutely.
I think Drogue's point there is why people are particularly not annoyed, but questioning why they haven't had the update on that mintage numbers. And it's the fact that these are numbers that Perth would have to have already on hand. They can't just willy-nilly produce a random number of these coins. They have to keep very specific logs on, this is how many we've produced, this is how many we're allowed to produce, things like that. And so, as they say there, they would literally have a spreadsheet in the system with this data. And I think that's why it frustrates people that they haven't put it out there.
Question there from Bandit that we get a few times. If gold was revalued to 10,000 USD, would BN facilitate buybacks, and how would it affect you? Yes, we'd still do buybacks. I used to get this question of when gold was around $1,500 to $1,700 an ounce. If it ever hits $5,000 an ounce, you guys are going to stop buying it back. I'm buying back more now than I've ever bought before, and we're actively looking for more. It doesn't matter if it goes to 10,000 tomorrow. It would not change our market. It wouldn't change our buying habits. Absolutely, I'd have to juggle cash flow a bit more carefully in the initial stages. But the further up it goes, the more interest it generates, the more demand it generates, the more we're looking for more. So I don't ever see it as an issue.
Yeah, and even just speaking to that and being in the shop so much more in the last couple of months, we're selling a lot more gold than we are buying. And we are buying a lot of gold back, but we're selling more than we are buying. So it just shows that the interest, even at a much higher price point now than a few years ago, it hasn't stopped people from buying and merely just selling. People, and they ask us this all the time in the shop as well, like, what's the alternative? Because it's a protection against inflation, and people, it rises up, it makes more people aware of it, and to a point as well, it's a bit of that fear of missing out or missing out on this current price point. So we're just selling more than we are buying.
To give, and I'll never admit to this conversation, particularly publicly, I'd never do it on camera, but just to give you an idea of some of the numbers, like for a while there, we were buying in excess of $1 million a day worth of buyback gold, and we were still looking for more. Like the demand is out there, and the demand is huge. I just wanted to shout out a name I haven't seen for ages go through. So the girl with the blue beanie. So she was a regular, and I haven't seen her around for a while. So g'day, to see you there. And James Howard is on holiday, but I think you missed the start of the YouTube. We were talking, or the live stream, I should say. We were talking about tax on gold coins in the UK, and James would be able to fill us in on that. So if you after the live stream, if you want to go back and review it and make some comments in the chat, that would be appreciated, mate.
I don't know how you've managed to do it, Michael, but there's been quite a few people that suspect your background is a green screen, and you have somehow made it look very green screen-like, even though I know genuinely that is the background you've got at the moment. It does look like you're sitting in front of a...
You know how you could prove it? You know how we could prove it?
He just needs to walk into the distance. Oh,
yeah, I'm not jumping in that water. Like, that water is it's not happening. So that's actually the Tamar River behind me. I'm down in the north of Tasmania, for those that weren't here right at the start. So it's an incredible spot. It's a beautiful spot, and I encourage anyone that's well, I mean, I love Tasmania. I think it's one of the prettiest states on earth. But yeah, both the north and the south. Well, no, the whole of Tassie is actually really beautiful, and this is just one beautiful little postcard view of it, and it looks even better when I get out the way.
Yeah, you couldn't have picked a funnier word to freeze up on, Michael. Literally, as you said the word freezing, you started glitching out and freezing. So.
You know, I've only ever been to Hobart, and only once. But as soon as we got out of the airport, and I smelt the air, and I had a look at the sights, I absolutely fell in love with the place. So I really need to get back there. It's absolutely beautiful.
It is an incredible state. If you haven't been here, get down here and experience it, because it's something else. And everyone's a bit more relaxed down here than your likes of Melbourne or Sydney or even Brisbane. And Brisbane's pretty chill, but Tassie's just got it down pat. They're great. The scenery's great. The apples are great. The apple cider's fantastic. The chocolate's great down here. It's just a fantastic place.
Astro Boy SpaceX.
And we're not sponsored by the Tasmanian government.
I think people were wondering that. Yeah, they thought we'd been sponsored by Tassie. Hello, B and team. Talking about cash flow, when gold goes to $10,000 an ounce, are you finding any government restrictions on how much cash you can pay out to customers? I think what we're going to find is that the restrictions that are currently in place are just going to stay where they are. And so the problem is almost going to inflate itself to that. We're probably not going to see any changing of the current laws. And so that $10,000 reporting requirement is just going to be there, but it's just going to be buying or you getting less precious metals for that same amount.
Well, I think and the question is, are restrictions on how much cash we can pay out to customers. So as far as I understand, there's no restrictions on a limit to how much cash we can give out if you're selling back to us.
Yeah, look, people seem to think we're restricted in the amount of cash we can hand out. And there is no law that says thou shall only hand out X amount of cash.
In Australia.
In theory, we could pay out... Sorry, mate, I missed that.
In Australia. That was one of the things Alex was potentially going to talk about afterwards.
Yeah, in Australia, there is no limitation to what we can pay out. Having said that, I'm certainly not suggesting that you'll roll in and do sell back a 400-ounce bar, take it in gold, or take it out in cash and walk down the street. You'd be pretty crazy to do that. You've still got security issues and all that sort of stuff. But the government doesn't say you can't deal in cash. They're just saying if you want to deal in cash, these are the sort of things that we want you to do to make sure it's above board and you're not doing things that none of us want done with the cash.
Have we heard any update on when that Blue Australian B is actually arriving into stock? I think the last I'd heard it was fairly late in the month, like the 26th or something like that. Have you heard any update on that? He's in deep thought. He's pondering my question very deeply.
No, the answer's no.
Oh, there we go. The answer's no.
All right, there's a question here from Susan McGee. As more and more people come on board as holders of metals, what do you reckon would be the chances of supply running out altogether?
You stole my thunder, Alex. I was going to link that one in with a handball to an article Michael sent me the other week.
Did you want to link that in with a...
Yeah, I'll link that in. And it was talking about a group out in Western Australia that were mining for Apollo Hill. And it says that they assume an average grade of just 0.51 grams or 0.02 ounces of gold per tonne, with only 75% of that being extracted successfully. In other words, Saturn must mine and process more than 80 tonnes of ore, equivalent to the weight of 13 African elephants, that's gotta love that metric, to extract a single ounce of bullion. And so that's it. I'm tying that in with the question of when we're seeing mining companies have numbers like that, is it a concern?
Well, first thing for me that I would ask is when you're measuring the weight in elephants, is it adult elephants or is it baby elephants? Or
Well, it's specified African, so it's not even the old
African or
European or
Asian.
African swallow. Yeah.
yeah.
That's right. You're showing your age, Ruben.
Yeah, sorry.
Look, I don't think it's a big deal. It is what it is. As it becomes more difficult to get hold of, this is a bit of a flywheel effect or a catch-22. Becomes more difficult to get hold of. The price goes up. As the price goes up, different sources become economically viable, and that's kind of the thrust of this article that I sent you the other week, was the fact that a couple of years ago, if you weren't pulling 3 to 5 grams per tonne, you weren't economical. Now we can go down to half a gram per tonne, and you're still just economical. And that's what we'll see. So if it does get rarer, quote unquote, you'll see the price go upwards, and other sources will come online, which will then potentially, market effect. If supply increases and demand doesn't, the price will come down a bit. So it may ease the price a bit. But we haven't tapped. If you really want to start pushing the barrow right out there, we haven't tapped major sources yet. We could start mining comets and things like that. Yes, it'd be horrendously expensive, but it's still there, and there's still quite a lot of gold out there. So, where do you want to take this extreme to? There's always gold there. There's always another source. It's just more expensive to get to.
Yeah, I know it's one of those concerns that people have. There's also all the stats, and I'm not sure of them off the top of my head, but about how much is just out there just waiting to be recycled and actually reused, whether it's in electronics or jewelry and things like that. But there is so much gold out there that is just not then circulating back into the system. And I'm not saying it should, but there is a lot out there that, again, the whole cost versus reward, is it worth pulling it off old circuit boards and things like that? Or is it worth, digging it out of the ground to the numbers that are being mentioned there? It just eventually, I think the price will reach a point where it does become worth it.
Absolutely. But you've also got to understand that none of us buy gold to use it. We all buy gold to store it. We're storing our wealth, even from you and I, all the way through to central banks. It's been designed not to circulate, but to store. So it's natural that it will get stored and hidden away, and then we'll look for other sources of it.
Lots of people wondering about a Tasmania store, Michael.
Stand by for further information. I'm not just here for the scenery.
Another one from Astro. Are you finding the silver suppliers are becoming more scarce than over the previous 5 years? So very similar question, but this time directed at silver.
Yeah, I hate this question. It's very difficult to answer. There is always silver out there. We can always get hold of silver. The question is how much you're willing to pay for it. There are times when certain items in silver become difficult to obtain. So a little while ago, Perth Mint had trouble with their production of their kilo bars. So if you walked into the store and said, I'm here to buy a 1 kilo Perth Mint silver bar, we'd go, we can place a pre-order, but we don't know when we're going to be able to deliver it. If you walked into the store, though, and said, look, I'm just after a kilo bar, bang, absolutely, we've got it. So there are times when when items in silver become difficult to source. I've had times when silver generally has been difficult to source, usually because demand has increased rapidly overnight, and the supply chain has taken a while to actually spool up to fill that vacuum that was being caused. But we're not running out. I'm not finding it that I can't get hold of it. And even at the moment, there is actually 2 refineries that are struggling to supply us at the moment. They have supply issues, but we're certainly able to source it from other refineries fairly easily. It's just their supply chain is taking a while to spool up and actually get there. So I would say it's not in a shortage, but there are items that we can't currently source.
Stephen says, whatever happened to that secret shop you announced a while back, and do you regret announcing it early? I'm assuming Pakenham is what they're referring
Depends
to
which
there.
shop we're talking about. There's we'll see. Stand by. We'll see what happens.
I'm gonna carry the question on. Do you regret announcing Pakenham as early as you did?
In hindsight, the answer would be an obvious yes. At the time, with the information that we had, I don't believe we did, but things conspired against us. So, I can come up with all the reasons. At the end of the day, the store didn't open when we expected it to. But with the information we had at the time, it was certainly we were certainly easily able to meet our marks. As things happen, it delayed. So in hindsight, yes, I regret it, but at the time, it was the best call with the information we had.
Just done a quick poll, Michael, there of the people that are wanting a Tasmania store. Hobart is winning over Launceston. Just to highlight
By much?
Not by that much, no.
That means you're going to have to open up
right in the
2
middle.
stores.
No, I was going to say right in the middle.
Like Cradle Mountain.
That's it.
It sounds like the name of a movie.
What, Cradle Mountain?
Yeah, like an
Or
Aussie
2
horror
stores.
story. Yeah.
Great.
Stephen says, before Pakenham, he had a video of a shop being set up, but never announced that Pakenham was the new shop in the video. Yeah, that was Pakenham.
That was Pakenham.
And still is Pakenham, and is now open by appointment only.
For the time being.
It is.
Got another question from sorry, Mike's comment there about both people in Launceston voted. From Susan. It says, would you explain the concept of premiums, please? Still fairly new to all this, so apologies if this is a tedious question. It's not. It's a fairly essential part of what we do. It's kind of comprised of 2 different prices. The price we sell is spot price and premium, so it's a pretty big part of it. I'll let you explain it better, Michael. But
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to do it. There's several components to pricing precious metals. So when the miner pulls it out of the ground, it's all covered in crud. And I mean, as we were talking about 5 minutes ago, it might only be 0.5 gram per ton. They loosely refine it down into what's called a doré bar, a lump of metal, and they get paid an amount by the refinery for that lump of metal that might be 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% pure. And they get spot price, give or take a little bit, depending on its purity and what contaminants it's got. But effectively, if you think of the spot price, which is the price that we see on the news at night when they say, oh, gold's hit a new high, it's at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever they're quoting that day. That is the price that the miner actually gets for the gold or the silver, depending on what we're talking about. Then the refinery takes it away. They purify it down into a 4/9 product, and then they cast it into a bar or a coin or jewelry or whatever they're actually producing. And they say, okay, well, it's cost me to buy it, spot price, and it's cost me to run this refinery, pay the wages, keep the lights on, and I want to make a small profit. So I'm going to add a wholesale premium to that spot price. So, for example, let's say they add $50 an ounce to it. Then I come along and I say, well, I need an ounce of gold for my store. I'm going to take that ounce. So they're going to charge me spot price plus the wholesale premium of $50. I'm going to place it for sale in my store. You walk in the next day and you go, I want to buy that ounce of gold you got there. And I'll say, well, I paid spot plus $50. I've got to keep the lights on. Alex and Ruben don't want to work for nothing, unfortunately. So I've got to pay them a wage, got to pay the insurance, got to pay security, all that sort of stuff. And I've got to make a small profit at the end of the day. So I might add another $30 on top of it. These numbers are just made up, by the way. So I might add $30 on top of it. So the premium is that price of the wholesale premium plus the retail premium, the $50 plus the $30. That's the premium that you pay above spot price. Now, when you come to sell that bar, when you sell it to somewhere like Bullion Now, we will say, okay, well, the premium is that much, but we pay spot for it. So that premium is the chunk that you may lose when you sell back to a bullion dealer, something along those sort of lines. Some bullion dealers will give you less than spot, but we do spot. So if your objective is purely just to stack metal because you want to walk into a bullion dealer like Bullion Now at the end of the day, put your precious metal onto the counter, walk out with a fistful of dollars. Your best object, or the object of the exercise at that point, is to buy with the minimum premium that you can, because that's the chunk that you're going to lose. But there's other reasons why you'd pay higher premiums for different things, and we can go into that on another live stream.
Got some birds going in the background just to prove that Michael is actually outside in nature.
Is it Thanksgiving in Tassie at the moment? What's going on?
It's just a beautiful day in Tasmania, mate.
No, it's the background. Was it Tasmanian turkey or something?
Correct.
Interesting one from Leo there. Do you get many foreigners buying bullion to store in Melbourne, hence having a strategic store of wealth outside their home country? I originally thought this was basically a question of, do you get many through? And it's actually, I was going to say yes, because that was interesting throughout COVID, where we saw a lot of people who had gold as a part of their culture growing up, or because of persecution or whatever it was in their culture's history. They kind of understood potentially what was happening here, and there was a lot of people buying gold for that. But yeah, do we get many that then buy it from overseas and store it here as a bit of a safe haven?
We don't, but we don't tend to advertise that much that we offer storage as an option. We are a bullion store that has storage on the side. There are other places where you can store it, and we do have some that buy off us and will have it shipped to those storage places. But it's certainly not a huge component of our customer base.
That's actually a good question, and I'm surprised, because I'm also looking for some places overseas as well to start diversifying. So I'm really looking forward to one day, hopefully soon, with other BN stores internationally. So I'll be pushing and goading Michael for some maybe Texas stores or Florida stores.
It's the North Korean store next.
You can buy it and store it there. You'll just never be able to get it back. So it's very safe there.
Good fun.
Anthony wants to know where you want their resume for work in the Perth store. I think there's quite a few people that have offered to send in resumes for locations that don't even exist yet. They're ready and raring to go.
You can always send it in. I've got to start remembering the new address. It's admin, admin at bullionnow.com.au. If you've got a resume, even if you're in another state, wouldn't hurt to send it in.
Alrighty, I think we need to start winding down. We're a little bit before 4 o'clock,
so.
But I'm going to be honest, we haven't had as much planned for this stream, so I'm out of things. There's at least one, and apologies to this person, there is at least one where in the world is that Bullion Now bag, but I often like to wait until we've at least got a couple for that, so apologies to that person. I have got it. But if there was anyone else who was going away on holiday and had a Bullion Now bag with them, or just lived somewhere cool and wanted to show it off, send a picture of it through to live@bullionnow.com.au. And yeah, we'll have a go at that next week. That would be good. Hopefully someone from the IT or stock team is listening and can list some of those Shreks, because it sounds like those aren't up yet. We had a few people having issues with the price of the sneaky special we tried to run through. I think it was something with the tiered pricing. We are aware of it. So if there is any issues and that hasn't been going through properly, take a look after the stream. We'll be sure to update it. But until then, we will do some rapid fire questions. So if you had anything that we hadn't managed to hit throughout the rest of the stream, we will endeavour to hit it now. So send them through and we will try and answer any and all of your questions. I'm just looking there at Michael, and I think this is the smoothest connection his internet's had all stream. I can actually put in full screen and it doesn't look like I can count 2 or 3 pixels there, which is always the way it is. Anyway. We've got James say, please suggest a gold verification device that we can use from home.
What's that one called, Rubes?
The Sigma Metalytics.
Yeah, that one. That's a pretty good one. If you're talking coins, the ping test thing that you get on your phones Actually, for the price of it, and they're usually free, I think. Rubes will correct me on that.
Yep, no, it's free.
Are amazingly good.
When is the Grosvenor meetup? The night before thing that we're having for the Perth Mint tour.
So that will be on the Sunday night. So Sunday, is it 30 days? No, it's 31 in August, isn't it?
Yep, 31st.
Yeah, so 31st, it'll be in the evening. We'll kick off probably around about 6 o'clock. But look, if you get in, basically when we land, we'll check into the hotel. We'll probably kick around for a few minutes and do a video. Undoubtedly, Ruben will get me in front of a camera, and then we'll drag ourselves up to the Grosvenor, and we will casually start entrees at that point there. So any time after probably 5:30, 6 o'clock, if you want to lob in. If we get something more formal going, we will announce it. But at this stage, roll in, and if you don't happen to get into Perth till 8 o'clock, I can guarantee you we'll still be going at 8 o'clock, so don't stress too much.
Brian, did I miss a special? Was I late? Sorry, I was late. Yes, we're doing the turtles at buyback price, so that's $5 over spot per ounce, so that's $10 because they're a 2-ounce coin. I'll just pop the link there for that. Are there spots available on the Perth Mint tour, and how much? There are not. We have
it was
well
free,
and truly.
but there's none.
Yeah, so it was free, but we're well and truly done. There is a wait list. We have now far too many on the wait list. It is finished. There was a few people that we managed to free up from that wait list, and they should have been contacted now. So at this point, Michael, unless Michael tells me otherwise, I think it's fairly locked in. Does Launceston...
Just on Rubes, I know this is rapid fire.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec. I know this is rapid fire, but several people have asked me if they can change names on their tickets. So, like, the wife could come, but now she can't. So, can I bring my brother? That's fine. We can absolutely do that, but you've got to tell us now because we need their ID. We need to send the ID to Perth Mint. Perth Mint has to process it, make sure and get it all ready for you. So, effectively, if you haven't told us by probably the end of next week, I'd suggest it will be a no from that point onwards.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rubes.
No, all good. And if you were coming along and you hadn't yet sent through ID, I need that. Even if we've already got it as Bullion Now, it's something we'd like separately. So yeah, if you could send that through to also live@bullionnow.com.au.
We have to have it separately because when you send us as part of your account, when you send your ID to us, it doesn't go anywhere else but us. We don't allow it to go anywhere else but us. So it would be a breach of privacy if we then flicked it off to Perth Mint. So we are requesting it a second time. And again, if we don't get your ID, really sorry, you can't come. It is absolutely that simple. So get it to us again very, very soon, or we'll just say thanks for coming. We'll allocate your ticket to someone else.
All right. Does Launceston still have that wonderful wood smoke smell? I'm not sure if that's pitched at you, Michael, if you can smell it from where you are.
Yeah, it does here because we had wood-fired pizzas for lunch, but
that'll do it.
It's just a great place. Internet's
SMSF,
a bit ordinary, but the rest of it's great.
SMSF statements.
I would have to find out where we're at with that. I can't give you another update since last week.
BDK and Stephen, both with two separate Tasmania coin ideas, one with the Tassie Devil and the other with a two-headed coin.
We'll see.
Any new releases in the next 2 weeks?
Yes.
We'll have something. Can we come into store and book an appointment with Michael to buy Bullion or Alex as they are semi-celebrities?
That's what we're getting the ticketing system for.
Michael's a bit challenging, particularly over the next little bit, because you are gallivanting around a little bit over to a few different places. But
Alex does nothing, so just drop in.
Alex
He'll
will be available. But yeah, feel free to ask any of the staff there, and we can, if they're around, we'll always try and get them
Happy
through.
to.
Michael, American analysts say gold and silver is undervalued. What's your thoughts on the true value of gold and silver?
True value is what two people will agree on at the same time on opposite sides of the transaction. It's an open market. Whether it's manipulated or not is a separate argument altogether, but in theory, it's an open market. You can come in and buy straight off us at the current market buy price. and you can sell it to us at the current market sell price. It is a free market at this point for all intents and purposes. I'm happy to take the argument about manipulation another day.
John Galt says, who is John Galt? I think it's you. James says, but those of us who are old enough to remember can remember other BN projects. Remember the IT project. Michael does all too well, I think. Is Bullion Now getting the 1 ounce silver 2025 Brumby? We are not. That is an exclusive. That one, not one we're able to get a hold of. Do you think silver can hit 80 to 100 US dollars an ounce in the next 10 years?
That wouldn't shock me.
Do the turtles come in tubes? The ones we just did the special on, the 2 ounce
I
ones?
answered that one in there as well. They come in tubes of 20, but if you buy a few, we'll encapsulate the few. If you buy them in 10 or more, they'll usually come in a tube.
Is it a tube of 20, Alex?
Oh, sorry. Are these a 2 ounce or the 1 ounce?
No, these are 2 ounce.
Oh no, 2 ounce. Sorry, I was thinking the 1 ounce. They still come in tubes, but I think it's actually I'm not sure about the 2 ounces. I was thinking about the other versions with the 1 ounce. So they still come in tubes.
Rude?
No, 2024s.
No, sorry. Are these 14 in a tube?
Oh, I'm actually not 100% sure.
Well, not 100% because some have 10, some have
11.
12, and some have 14. Yeah. Depending on the mint.
Which is why they're asking the question. But yeah, we're entirely unhelpful on this one. Sorry.
Yeah. There you go.
S-Bist just joined. Did we discuss if those who are unable to attend the tour are able to receive a signed design if we buy on the first day?
We were going to ask if we could get some back, but that we're not sure on that unless Michael's got an update on that.
If I can get hold of them, I absolutely will.
Anthony, can we request tubes if they aren't stated on the website?
Yes.
I sent through ID via live chat.
If you're buying more than a few.
I sent ID through via live email, sorry. Will I get a confirmation of receipt? I haven't done that yet. There's a few people I have, the first few ones that came through, but there was kind of a flurry of them all at once, so not everyone has. So if you've sent that through to live@bullionnow.com.au, you should be all good. I will be sending out a follow-up, hey, we haven't got it, email for those that haven't sent it through. So if you don't get that sometime next week, you are all good to go. And yeah, you'll receive more information from us moving forward. When do you expect to receive more Germanium Mint?
Come in tubes.
What was that, Michael?
Tubes come in, the turtles come in tubes of 10.
There you go. When do you expect to receive more Germanium Mint 100 1 gram gold boxes?
Oh, great question. I actually think we've got some on hand now. If not, they're arriving very, very soon.
Holding statements ETA, please.
Again, it will be sometime in August, but I can't tell you when. We're waiting for Perth Mint to give us a price on, like a locked-in spot price for it.
I want to sell my rhodium elephant to Alex in personal. You've already responded to that one. Yeah. Can we also get your autographs?
You can have mine.
Who do you work for?
When is the next Kookaburra due?
I sign blank checks. The cookie is due in November, I believe.
Exciting. Zinger Stacker or Crunch, Michael?
Don't have a preference.
What about Hot and Crispy or Wicked Wings? Jedicool's very interested in a KFC order.
Don't know. I don't have KFC very often. I can't really comment on this one.
It's been forever.
Susan says, sorry if you've already answered. I was called away for a few minutes. Which spot price chart do you use? Which feed do we use?
Our feed comes from Infusion, which is one of it's probably the major spot price provider in the world. So they bring it straight out of the exchanges. So it's one of the more accurate spot prices usually.
Brian reckoning, you're looking refreshed, like you've had a sleep. It's partly the fact he's away in Tasmania, also partly the fact that he's had a haircut and looking fresh. Would Bullion Now ever do a cross interview with Ainsley?
Oh, if there was a reason for it, absolutely.
Yeah. Is Platinum still worth buying?
I'm still buying it.
Yeah, this is not financial advice, but I'm certainly still buying it.
And are you feeling the chill with the haircut, Michael?
Sometimes, yes.
Oh, interesting one from Robin Cat. Any time frame on the 2025 BU Quackers?
I can't speak on behalf of Perth Mint on this one, but you might be waiting a while.
And I think we're going to end it off there. We are at the bottom of the list.
Thank you to everyone
Sounds good.
hanging in
Well,
today.
It was one of those streams.
It's a bit of a marathon, this one, with everything going on, but I'll keep it short and sweet and thank everyone for tuning in and putting up with all our technical difficulties. All three of us will be back in the studio next week as a rarity for August.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, we'll see you at 2:30 next week. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.
See ya.